Speaker, National opposes this bill.
Dennis O'Rourke.
Mr Speaker, New Zealand First will emphatically support this bill. The Act as it now is would have been a sleeping dog, but this government would not let it lie. It's obviously been willing to compromise conservation values in favour of the exploitation of resources. Now, Nicky Wagner said that National wanted a prosperous country, and so do we all. The difference is that some of us will not do it at any cost. There is no harm, however, encouraging sustainable use of New Zealand's resources, and I emphasise the word sustainable. And there is no need for a policy either of absolute prohibition on the use of the country's resources. But the sustainability bar must be high, and in the case of conservation land, the bar must be so high as to be virtually a prohibition where large-scale mining in particular is concerned. Now, I want to refer to section 61(2) of the existing Act, in which the Minister, in deciding upon an access arrangement, must have regard to certain things. Included are the objects of any act under which the land is administered, the purpose for which the land is held, policy statements and management plans, safeguards against any potential adverse effects. Sounds all right until you realise that in fact that is not only not a comprehensive list of what should be had regard to, it is in fact a very weak section altogether. And if that is all a minister did, then I think most members of the New Zealand public would regard that as a wholly inadequate process of consideration. And, Mr Speaker, I also want to refer to section 61(5), which I think is even weaker. And I totally reject Nicky Wagner's description of the consultation process under that section as being comprehensive. It is anything but. Let me read it to you. First of all, it says that the Minister of Conservation must consult, quote, to the extent that is reasonably practical. And who on earth knows what that is other than the Minister? That is highly subjective and is so wide that a Minister could decide whatever they like in terms of what is adequate consultation. It goes on to say that the circumstances of the particular case have to be had regard to, and only those persons the ministers have reason to believe are representative of interests likely to be substantially affected are those who need to be consulted. So this is not a section, Mr Speaker, which provides for comprehensive, widespread, general public consultation. It is in fact not a modern consultation process at all, let alone not being comprehensive. In fact, as far as I'm concerned, it really means that the Minister need only listen to his or her mates. And that is, I think, exactly what's happened with this government. Mr Speaker, a modern consultation system requires comprehensive information processes, explanation means, consultation genuinely pursued, and consideration of submissions. There's nothing like any of that in this section in the Act. So we cannot have any confidence that there would be any consultation at all under this section. So the Act is so deficient in these various ways that it needs a complete overhaul. For those reasons, amongst others, Mr Speaker, this bill should be opposed. But this bill is about process, not about substance. Hence, National should really be supporting it if it really is interested in process and consultation. The bill only asks that if land is to be removed from Schedule 4, then it should not be by a minister, especially given the deficient processes detailed in the existing Act. Exploitation proposals should, as this bill means, go through Parliament and be fully debated in public. That is necessary now, given the government's record, so New Zealand First does, as I said at the beginning, fully and emphatically support the bill as it now is.
Maggie Barry.
I rise